Yo, yo, yo. Oh my, I just dropped my... What's good, gang? Hey, how's it going, guys? Jack and Matt here with the Toasty Bros, and today we're going to be doing the top 5 webcams under $50. Hey, how's it going, guys? Jack and Matt here with the Toasty Bros, and today we're going to be doing the top 5 webcams under $50.
If you're looking to get into live streaming and you can't seem to find the Logitech C920,
How to react to this video?
Webcam in stock right now, well, we have a couple of options that could be good alternatives, and we're going to be comparing it to a Logitech webcam that you can actually get but probably isn't worth getting. But before we talk more about these webcams, let's hear a word from today's sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by GVG Mall, the online marketplace to gain access to some really awesome discounted game keys, and more specifically, Windows 10 license.
From other websites as well. And then we have this 6th Logitech C270. You're probably wondering, why is that here? Well, this is like our baseline webcam, because this is the C922X, and I actually use the Logitech Stream Cam at home, which I paid a ridiculous amount for. I think I paid $200+ for that webcam. And for a 1080p webcam is not worth doing. I don't recommend it, but I really just wanted like the best of the best at the time. This one does have the biggest box, and that's because, you know, it's a Logitech product. They got to make sure that the presentation's there. These other guys don't really care that much about their presentation for the most part, but you have the webcam with a USB cord. Let's just check that we actually really like this one, but focused.
This one, amount of resolution these webcams are pushing, USB 2 is perfectly fine. So we put on.
This is full scale.
We didn't do any scaling for either of these. We did no color correction. We just threw the cameras into OBS, and this is what you get.
So Logitech one just makes it really, really close.
It'd be okay if it was just like one of us.
Yeah, one of us is okay.
But like, you see how the epicness of the angle in Nexio? I like the wide angle personally.
It looks really good. Now we're going to do a lights off test because not all of you have studio lights like this. We'll see exactly what that looks like. And honestly, the Nexio is not awful. It does seem like our overhead lights are causing like a little bit of like a glare.
Yeah, the Logitech is picking it up a lot less.
Yeah. So.
Then, oh, you know what it is? The Nexio is so wide it's picking up this light right above us. The Logitech's so zoomed in that it's past that light.
Not bad in low light situations, so looks
These are
pretty
both
good.
more impressive than I thought they'd be. I thought the Logitech one was going to look like garbage, but it's not really that bad.
So this is the full cam for the Nexigo. Before we switch cameras, you can see what
This
it
is
looks
lights
like right
off, so we should.
Yes, and we'll do
yeah.
lights on
Do
too.
lights on, too.
And then hi, hello, once again. So we'll move back to that. Lights on, and look at that. I honestly like that. It'll probably adjust here in a
Those
second.
colors are
but
not bad.
not too
Yeah, and
shabby.
you could go into OBS or whatever you're using, and you could adjust the heck out of these colors, make it look pretty good.
Good. All right, now the next one.
Next up, we have the Nexigo N680, and this is another 1080p 30 FPS webcam, which is going to be a pretty consistent trend here. So this one probably has like one of the nicest boxes, I would say, aside from the Logitech one. It is actually, you know, individually wrapped. It has its own custom mold case. Look at that, 1080p full HD autofocus webcam. So features that it has: long USB cord. It does have a privacy filter. It's actually built in. I like that. The other one just had a cap you put over it. It does have swivel and everything. You can also do tilt. It does have tripod mount. It's kind of built like the other one. It looks a lot like a C920 as well. So honestly, for build quality wise, I think this is probably the nicest one I've seen so far. Look, it even has a point of adjustment there. This one has a lot of adjustment, long story short. So why don't we go ahead and get this one plugged up and see how it looks.
Alright, now we have the Nexigo N680, and honestly, it's not as wide as the other one, but I think it does look a bit sharper.
Yeah, the other one actually, if you guys notice, skewed the ceiling. The ceiling looked like it was rounded. This one, the ceiling is still flat, just like the Logitech. So the other one was a little bit too wide, I think. This one, they've gotten the right balance going.
Yeah,
it looks very pale.
Looks
but-
pretty pale. You know, I mean, we are this camera angle is just kind of like looking up, like, hello. There we go. But yeah, that's what it looks like with the lights on. We'll go back to the webcam test real quick, try lights off to see how this thing handles quote-unquote low light.
It is,
About the same.
yeah, better.
Yeah.
Better than the other one, I think, because the other one was so wide.
Yeah. So here's Logitech, and here's the other one. Same deal. It's still wide enough so the light, the way it hits. Again, it's your lighting scenario may change at home. If you're in like a totally dark dungeon, it might be different. But yeah, that's kind of what we're working with. Go back.
This is why lighting is key.
Lighting is very important. It makes a big difference. Next one. Next up, we have the Amcrest, which is a 1080p webcam that is simple, reliable, and secure. You can see that right there. It's very reliable. It says, stop. Do not return to store. Immediately contact Amcrest for product replacement. Okay, well, we're just going to go ahead and open. Oh, wow, that was
It
just.
says stop. If it,
I mean, okay, so just hit Jackson. All right, here we go. Inside the bag, we have a very similar looking webcam. Cable's basically the same. The actual mount, unless you have a really thick monitor, I think you're probably up pairs. It's the link in the description down below. But yeah, this is pretty deep, good enough. You can always get USB extensions too. We do recommend getting like a USB 3 extension if you want to have the best compatibility. So link in the description down below. But yeah, this is pretty decent. Really not much else to say about it, but plug it up and see how it compares. The Amcrest, which came in the Logitech one. There you go. Amcrest. So we probably could test autofocus. Ooh, how's that work? Ooh, how's that work?
isn't that one just
This
like,
one's
it
fixed
said
focus.
fixed, so it said it just shouldn't work, I guess. I don't know.
Sure, whatever. But hey, as you can see, Logitech is still super zoomed in. The Amcrest colors are kind of weird. It's kind of greenish.
I'm not gonna lie, the colors. If you want a wide camera though, this one is the I think probably. Next up, we have the Rofi webcam UC. So you know what it does say? Webcams used to be like swivel. I mean, as far as the actual, picking it up as the was it
Nexigo.
Nexigo, yeah, it's calling it a Nexigo. So Rofi, did you just buy from Nexigo, rebrand, and then resell?
Yeah, no idea. But yeah, this webcam kind of has the same thing like the last Nexigo cam. It's a little bit green. Like it has a little bit of a greenish tint, but all this stuff could be corrected in post or in OBS. We can actually do color correction. So we'll go ahead and switch to the Logitech once again. You know what this one looks like. You've seen it enough. And then here we go.
God,
Wow, we
this
see
is
like,
wide.
yeah, so we got like,
It's wide, but it's not skewed like the other ones.
so
so
that's
that's
pretty
good.
nice. Pretty nice. All right, we'll go ahead and turn the lights off. Turn the lights off. Turn the lights off. Oh. So recycled materials over here. Logitech at this point. Like I don't know what to do with it. It is what it
If
is.
you had the camera far back enough, okay, put it like this: the 720p quality is not as bad as I thought it would be.
So if we just go like,
Yeah, it's not. See, like it's
It
not
look-
too bad like
yeah,
that.
Webcams, they can be very expensive, very cheap, or in some cases even free. Are you better off just using your phone? To the description for Bug Webcams, the Logitech sound option and our setup, I can definitely say that it's a very decent webcam. You can much better than some other webcams I've tested. The built-in mic, however, not so much.
So this is how it would look when you have bad lighting.
The biggest downside of this webcam, in my opinion, is the pretty narrow field of view. And if you don't really know what field of view is, this here is a very wide field of view, and this is a look that many people like. And many of the webcams I tested had a very wide field of view, and an example of this is the AverMedia PW513. Now this AverMedia webcam is in the same ballpark as the Elgato Facecam. This one costs around $180 and this one $199. And both of these webcams are meant to be bought as a main option for streaming or content creation. So the real and important question here is if these webcams are high quality enough to replace a camera in your content creation setup. I'm a bit skeptical. Both of these premium webcams come with software to change the settings, and after tweaking some things and trying to get the best image possible, this is how the AverMedia webcam looks, and then this is how the Elgato one looks. Now the Elgato Facecam is 1080p 60fps and the AverMedia one should be 4K 30fps or 1080p 60fps. If I were you, I would use 1080p 60fps for the smoothness. Now these last three options should be really interesting, because what's gonna be the difference between this $600 camera, then the $30 webcam, and the free phone, which you can, by the way, buy for around $30. Now the way I'm using my phone as a webcam is by using an application called DroidCam. You can download it for both Android and iOS, and when installed you simply enter the IP address that the application gives you, you click on start, and then your phone will be linked to your PC. This was an old iPhone 5 lying around, and it actually doesn't look bad at all. And on top of that, buying this iPhone from eBay is cheaper than buying any cheap webcam. Now sadly, using 1080p is actually a pro feature, so you get a watermark. Now by using the Alt key on your keyboard you could cut away the sides, but I don't advise doing this because while the chance of getting caught is extremely low, it is illegal. Also, sometimes the auto exposure and the white balance can go a bit crazy, so I would advise locking those with these two options on your phone. However, when looking at the low light performance, this is something we better not talk about because it's extremely bad. If your phone isn't top of the line, you will need to be extremely bright in order for this to look good and not have noise all around your room and your face, etc. To hold my phone, I used one of these cheap clamps. If you want to do this for free, you could also just take a tall box and then put a phone on that, and I'm pretty sure that'll do just fine. Then in a completely different light is the Sony a6000. Now even if you have no intention on buying an expensive DSLR like this, it is still really important to check out the difference in quality between something like this and all the other webcams. Because the more I look at the results of all these tests, the more I think that the phone, the C920, and then the cheapest webcam, which we still have to test, will be the best option if you think you will eventually save up for a DSLR. Pokimane, Shroud, and some other big streamers use this Sony a6000, and it's for good reason. The quality is high, It's smooth 1080p 60 fps, it has an amazing autofocus, you get nice professional depth of field, and the camera even smoothens your skin out automatically. But don't worry, you can disable that feature if you want. To connect this camera to your PC, you will need something like an Elgato Camlink that converts an HDMI signal to a USB one. This costs a bit over $100, there are alternatives to this, I will link some of them in the description. And the last thing you will need is a micro HDMI to HDMI cable. So the micro HDMI goes into the camera, then the normal HDMI goes into the Camlink or an alternative, and that goes as a USB device into your PC. After this, you will find the camera as a webcam in OBS Studio, but when doing this without changing any settings, you will see that the on-screen information of the camera is also being shown in the output HDMI signal. Luckily, you can just change a simple setting and this will give you a very clean outgoing video. If you decide to buy this camera or another one to use as a webcam, I would highly advise you to buy a dummy battery. This is just a fake battery that you put into your camera and then connect to your PC or to a USB charger, and this way you can use your camera as long as you want without using batteries and having to recharge them, etc. Then the last webcam is the cheapest one of them all. This is the eMeet C960, and there's not a whole lot to say about this. These two are the closest in price, and maybe we can also compare it to this phone. So if we put them all side by side, you can see that the C960 definitely has the widest field of view, but the quality is also one of the lowest. However, something extremely important about this whole video. If we take all these webcams and we make them smaller and then look at them all together, which is what it would look like if you use this for streaming games, etc., I think we can say that all of them look pretty good and that they are all usable. It's only when you want to use your webcam full screen that some of them start giving problems because they are low quality or that they are bad in low lighting. So I think the biggest question of this video is if these premium webcams are worth it, and what I would say is if saving up and then buying a DSLR is something that seems reachable for you in terms of budget, then I wouldn't buy these kind of webcams. I would start out using your phone or the $37 webcam or the Logitech C920, that's $70, and then just keep using that until you can buy a DSLR and get a big upgrade and then start using it for YouTube and filmmaking and learning about all this stuff. Learning about video is definitely worth it, but where I think a $200 webcam does come in is if you think you're never gonna buy a $600, $700 camera. In that scenario, I could see this being worth because the quality of these premium webcams is definitely much better than the $70, $80, $90 other options out there. I'll show all the results of the webcams one by one while closing out this video. I would really like your opinion on all of this. Which webcam do you think looks the best and which one would you buy and for which purpose? Let me know all this in the comments, and if you're still watching at this point, then please give this video a like because it helps a lot in the YouTube algorithm. If you want more content for streamers, then definitely subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. This video took a long time to make. I hope I will see you in the next one.